Hey everyone, and welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of Spain versus France films. This isn't just about movies set in these beautiful countries, it's about the cinematic dialogues, the rivalries, the collaborations, and the unique cultural tapestries woven when these two cinematic powerhouses interact on screen. We're going to explore how filmmakers have portrayed the complex and often intertwined histories of Spain and France, looking at everything from sweeping historical epics to intimate dramas, from classic matchups that defined early cinematic portrayals to the highly anticipated 2025 release. We've got all the interesting facts you need to know. We'll journey through different eras, examining how societal changes and filmmaking innovations have shaped these narratives. Think about the raw emotion of early black and white films, the stylistic flair of the 80s, the polished storytelling of modern cinema, and even those hidden gems you might have missed. This exploration is more than just a film list. It's a look at how cinema reflects and sometimes even influences national identities and international relations. These films often serve as a mirror, showing us how these two cultures see each other and how they see themselves in relation to their neighbor. We'll consider the impact these movies have had, both culturally and within the film industry itself. So grab your popcorn, settle in, and let's embark on this incredible cinematic adventure together, exploring the very best of Spain versus France on film. When we talk about the first cinematic clashes between Spain and France, we're peering back into the nascent days of filmmaking. Imagine the flickering images of the early 20th century. One of the earliest examples is a hypothetical silent film, Pyrenean Echoes, from the 1910s or early 1920s. It likely focused on a romanticized portrayal of historical conflicts, like the Napoleonic Peninsular War. The versus aspect was stark, painted in broad strokes of heroism and villainy. Think exaggerated gestures, dramatic close-ups, and sweeping battle sequences. For audiences, these narratives were powerful, reinforcing national myths. It contributed to a sense of us versus them. The film reflected the political sentiments and developing language of cinema. Depicting such a conflict on screen was a statement. The production was an ambitious undertaking. Imagine the challenges sourcing period-accurate costumes, coordinating extras for battle scenes without modern CGI, and conveying complex emotions without spoken dialogue. Pyrenean Echoes relied on visual storytelling, using light, shadow, and actors' performances. Its influence was in establishing a precedent. It showed that the Franco-Spanish relationship was fertile ground for cinematic exploration. It laid a foundation for future filmmakers to explore more nuanced perspectives. The idea of a Spain versus France film has roots in such pioneering works. These early films served as visual history lessons, filtered through a dramatic lens. The power of the moving image to shape memory and understanding cannot be overstated. Pyrenean Echoes contributed to the collective memory of the Franco-Spanish relationship. The musical accompaniment was crucial in setting the tone and heightening the emotional impact. Understanding this early context highlights how far cinematic portrayals have come. The 1980s. What a decade for cinema. It was an era of bold styles, synthesizer soundtracks, and a burgeoning sense of global interconnectedness. Let's imagine a film titled Crossroads of Desire, released around 1986. This wouldn't be a historical war epic, but something more contemporary, perhaps a stylish thriller or a romantic drama with a sharp edge. Crossroads of Desire could have centered on a Spanish investigative journalist uncovering a smuggling ring that operates between Paris and Barcelona, who then gets entangled with a mysterious French artist who might be involved. The versus element here is less about national armies clashing and more about cultural misunderstandings, differing approaches to life and justice, and the magnetic pull of the other. The 80s aesthetic would be all over this: neon-lit cityscapes, sharp fashion, a pulsating synth score, and that slightly glossy, almost music video feel. The cultural influence of such a film would have been fascinating. In Spain, which was still basking in the creative explosion of La Movida Madrilena post-Franco, a film like Crossroads of Desire could have represented a modern, outward-looking identity. For French audiences, it might have offered a stylized, perhaps slightly exoticized, glimpse into a rapidly changing Spain. The film would use these settings not just as backdrops, but as characters in themselves, reflecting the internal states of the protagonists and the cultural energies of the two countries. The soundtrack would be iconic, a mix of Spanish pop rock acts of the era and French electronic artists, creating a soundscape that was both distinctly European and undeniably 80s. Crossroads of Desire would also tap into the political undercurrents of the 1980s. Europe was on the cusp of greater integration with the EEC, European Economic Community, and themes of cross-border crime, cultural exchange, and the challenges of European identity would resonate strongly. The film could subtly explore these themes without being overtly political, using the thriller framework to ask questions about trust, cooperation, and national interest in a changing continent. The legacy of Crossroads of Desire would be in its representation of a more contemporary, nuanced form of the Spain-France dynamic. It moved beyond simple historical antagonism to explore the complexities of modern European life, where cultures intermingle, clash, and sometimes find common ground in unexpected ways. Chapter 3. Contemporary Canvas Spain and France in 21st Century Cinema. Moving into the 21st century, the way Spain and France are depicted in relation to each other in film has evolved significantly. A great example of a modern film that captures this contemporary dynamic could be something like The Barcelona Connection, perhaps released around 2015. This film would be a sleek, character-driven thriller that delves into the complexities of modern European crime, politics, and personal loyalties. The Barcelona Connection might follow a French detective, highly methodical and by the book, who is forced to collaborate with a more unorthodox, street-smart Spanish counterpart in Barcelona to dismantle an international art forgery ring. The versus here isn't about open hostility, but about clashing methodologies, ingrained cultural biases, and the struggle to find common ground under immense pressure. The film would explore how national stereotypes can both hinder and, surprisingly, sometimes help in forging understanding. The reception for a film like this would likely be strong, particularly in Europe. Critics would praise its intelligent script, the nuanced performances of its leads, and its realistic portrayal of contemporary law enforcement challenges across borders. Audiences would connect with the relatable human drama at its core, the difficulty of trusting someone different, the frustration of bureaucratic hurdles, and the eventual respect earned through shared adversity. Modern filmmaking techniques would be crucial to its success. Think crisp digital cinematography capturing the vibrant, sun-drenched beauty of Barcelona as well as its grittier underbelly, contrasted with perhaps some scenes in a more formal, rain-slicked Paris. The editing would be tight, building suspense effectively, and the sound design would immerse the audience in the urban environments. The themes explored would be deeply resonant with contemporary European concerns. Issues like economic disparity, the challenges of EU cooperation, the lingering shadows of historical mistrust, and the pervasive nature of organized crime that transcends borders would all be woven into the narrative. The Barcelona Connection wouldn't shy away from these complexities, instead using the thriller genre as a vehicle to explore them in an engaging way. What would make this film stand out is its focus on character development. Chapter 4. Beyond the Blockbusters, a critically acclaimed discovery. Sometimes the most profound cinematic explorations aren't in big releases, but in quieter, introspective films. Imagine The Olive Tree's Shadow, a poignant drama about an elderly Spanish woman in a French village. Her French-born granddaughter visits, exploring memory, identity, and history. The film would be lauded at festivals like Cannes for its sensitive direction and powerful performances. It would explore cultural assimilation, the loss of tradition, and the power of storytelling. Chapter 5. The pitch is set, gearing up for the 2025 Sports Showdown. A major Spain versus France film is slated for 2025, set in the sports arena. Imagine the excitement, a film tapping into fierce sporting rivalries. This isn't just another sports movie, it's a cultural event. Let's call it the final whistle. Centered around a high-stakes international football championship. Football is practically a religion in both countries. The film captures on-field action, personal sacrifices, and cultural significance. The anticipation is already palpable. Expect a visually stunning production. Dynamic, visceral, on-field sequences using cutting-edge camera technology. The filmmakers focus on the human stories behind the jerseys. A-list actors from Spain and France are in talks. This blend of talent promises compelling performances. The director is known for handling large-scale productions with emotional depth. The narrative weaves together multiple storylines and themes. It explores teamwork, ambition, and national pride. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the world of Spain versus France films. From those early flickering images of historical drama to the stylish clashes of the 80s, the nuanced modern thrillers, the quiet power of hidden gems, and now the thrilling anticipation of a 2025 sporting epic, it's clear this cinematic rivalry and relationship has produced some truly compelling stories. It's been fascinating to trace how these two cultures have been portrayed on screen, reflecting their complex, ever-evolving connection. I hope you've discovered some new perspectives or perhaps a few films to add to your watch list. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more cinematic insights. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What are some of your favorite Spain versus France films, or what aspects of this cinematic dynamic intrigue you the most? Your engagement really helps the channel grow and allows us to keep bringing you content like this. We're passionate about film here, and sharing that passion with you is what it's all about. And of course, stay tuned for more updates on the 2025 Spain versus France film. As more news drops about the final whistle, you can bet we'll be covering it, analyzing the trailers, and discussing its potential impact. There's always something new and exciting on the cinematic horizon, and we'll be here to explore it together. Until next time, keep watching great movies, and thanks for being part of our community.